Well, this is the new painting, which process I'm gonna share with you in this video. I wanna comment with you three new aspects that have changed clearly since my last video. First of all is that I'm working on a different kind of board. I used to work on some kind of masonite, is what is called the MDF board. Now, for the advice of a good friend, I'm working with plywood, nice quality and 7 millimeters width, and I'm really happy with that change. Well, the second important aspect of my process that I have changed since I did my last video is that now I try to work with much less oil than I used to do. I just use, as you can see in the image, paper towel. It's a typical paper towel, just fold it in towel, put under the board of my palette, and this is a little tap of a jar with some oil and linseed oil, and all I do is get the soft brush in the oil, rub it against the paper to get rid of most of the oil, and just with this amount of oil applied whatever I'm gonna work and the part of the surface of the painting that I'm gonna paint on, this is all I need. All I do is this and start working. And I have also learned that this is more than enough, and if at any point of the painting you need more oil or some part is getting a little dry, you have no problem with doing this same thing that I just did on top of the painting, even if it's still fresh, if you just painted it. The important thing is that you get this tiny amount of oil and just go over the painting one time in a soft pass. No, don't rub it again, don't go several times, and it will work perfectly. The oil will integrate in the painting that you already had on the surface, and you will be able to work perfectly. Working this way, I'm getting much better results, and I'm avoiding all the kind of problems that I used to have when I use much more oil, much more linseed oil. Hope it helps to you too. And the third important change is the way I work the first approach to the painting. I used to work on mid-tones, less color, and very simplified first image of the piece. And this will mean, or used to mean, an image a little poor in color and strength. Now I try to get more accurate and more detailed and rich first coat of color. Get to deeper darks and lighter lights compared to what I used to do. I intend this first coat to create an intense and solid colorful base to work from there on. During this session I use no medium, no turpentine or oil to try to get a solid and opaque base to put up with all the different coats of glazings that will follow it. Clear and clean colors applied time after time during this session. Once I have covered a part of the painting, I will not consider it finished at all. I will keep on going, as you can see in the image, on it over and over as I work on the rest of the painting. As this fast sequence shows, every new color that I apply works in two different ways. Some will cover parts still not painted as a first coat, and some will retouch others where oil have been already applied, but where this particular color will feed and enrich this first coat. Working this way, you make sure that the first image of this painting will be both balanced in color and rich in hazes and hues. But it is important to keep in mind that precisely because we are working this way, these two different ways together, we are working sometimes over a dry surface and sometimes on wet oil. This is a very complicated way of painting, because depending on where you touch your own color in your brush, it's gonna get dirty with whatever is fresh if you touch there, and if you keep going you will have slowly a different mix of color in your own brush. This could be considered inconvenient, but if you get used to it, what is going to happen is that you're going to be able to play with that and get, for example, that blue from the water and play with it. Start with a very clean blue and the part of the water, but then as it gets dirtier, when you start touching those carmine or gray shades on the water, you can play with that different color that you're getting in your brass. And you can create a whole new world of possibilities as you make this first approach. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but it is very, very important that we consider that every time that we touch in the fresh oil, the color in the brush is changing. We can either clean it by refreshing the paint on the palette, or we can play with that possibility and keep going, as you can see right now. And that brush starts with that carmine tone, and if it goes in a clean area, it's going to stay like that. But if you go to an area that is already covered with fresh oil, it will change. Well, here's kind of the aspect that you will find, and this is what is to me very interesting. This structure that we have here. This particular painting shows different areas, some of them very simple, as the whole blue area or even the face of the model. Some others very complicated with a lot of different changes in the intensity, the color, the saturation, everything. So it's very nice to work this way because it will create this kind of first approach that, of course, as you can see, is kind of hard. You can see it in the face now, and the hair and shoulder of the woman. This is the aspect that it has, this first approach once it's finished. And of course, it's still a little hard, but at the same time, to me, is really interesting about the intensity of the colors and also in the strong contrast between darks and lights that, in my opinion, have been worked much more accurately and precisely in this particular piece. And to finish this video, I will show different stages of the whole process of the piece until the end of the painting. And as you can see, what I try to get is a balanced development of the whole piece. I slowly go towards dark areas, lighter lights, enriching the color around every part of the painting and soften the whole finishing of the piece. Sorry, because the quality of the images is not too good many times, but this is the best paint, the best photo I could get from the final stage of the piece. Hope it's helpful in any way, and in the next video I will show how I work one of those sessions that I've commented, one of the intermediate sessions with the oil. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.